G'day kids, mums and dads, Aaron here from Charlie Boots. Thanks for tuning in to another one of our online instructional videos. They're at the heart of what we do here. We're all about creativity and fun. And today we're going to be building Toothless from the How to Train Your Dragon movie and giving him some colour. So first thing is to get Toothless out of the box, and these kits are really cool. Not only do they come with a wooden model and all the instructions, but it comes with a booklet giving you a bit more information about Toothless and the How to Train Your Dragon's world. And Hiccup, who rides Toothless, talks about the town of Burke, who Hiccup is, some of Hiccup's inventions, the friendship between Hiccup and Toothless, and some of the other characters in there. And then importantly at the back, it also has some really amazing painting instructions, which I'm going to show you guys how to do. So it's all well and good to be able to read it, but it's so much easier if someone can show you how to do it. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to paint Toothless just like he appeared in the movie. But there is another option if you wanted to paint him a little bit different, but here's the way we're going to do it. But before we do that, we have to build him. So I'll put that booklet aside and we'll look at our instructions. So the instructions need to be unfolded because you can see here it's got steps 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5 through to 12 on this side, and then on the other side we have steps 13 through to 28. Pretty simple. So really important that we follow the instructions step by step and we read the information here before starting, which is to go through the instructions only one step at a time. Don't jump ahead, really important. Don't punch out all of the pieces at once. Leave them in the frame until you need them. So no glue, no scissors required, but if you do want your model to stay together a bit longer and be a bit more brother or sister proof, then by all means you can glue the pieces together, but it is not necessary and we won't be gluing them today. Our instructions. We also have a couple of pieces of cardboard and they're there to protect the model in the packaging, and we will also use that as a base to do our painting on so we don't get our table dirty. And then we have our wooden pieces wrapped in plastic. So it's important that when we start this, we take the plastic off and put the plastic straight in the bin. It could be a choking hazard, kids, so we definitely want to put any rubbish straight in the bin, particularly the plastic. And you'll see here that there's it's all laser cut to a really high degree of precision, and the laser also scorches in some extra details on the wings of Toothless, on his face, his eyes. It's all there included, so we want to use that when we're painting later on. But let's get this out of the plastic and we can start building. Alright, some tips before we get started. If any of the pieces happen to sort of fall out as you're going along, that's totally fine. Just put them to one side and remember which piece they are, but don't take them all out at once, as I said. You may also need to use a tool like the end of a paintbrush to pop some of the pieces out, but generally they're pretty easy to get out. You just want to take your time doing it, and then don't rush. This is going to be an amazing little project for you. It's going to look fantastic when it's finished and it's all painted. You're going to be really proud of it. You want to show your mates and your mum and dad and brothers and sisters and family, but take your time, don't rush it. If you feel like you're getting a little bit lost, ask for mum and dad's help. If you break anything, let us know and we should be able to replace it for you, but just definitely take your time, okay? So let's get stuck into it. And step 1 says to find pieces 1 and 2 on our board. So let's do that. And here's piece 1. And when you're popping these out, nice and gentle is the key. They will come out nice and easy. There's piece 1. And it also says we need piece 2. And that is, piece 2 is a little piece, which I remember now. There it is. There's piece 2. A little round piece. So out it comes. And it's important when you're following the instructions to hold the pieces just like it appears in the instructions. So you can see here in the instructions, this is piece 1, the long piece, and it's pointing that way. Don't have it upside down or pointing the other way. Have it just like in the instructions. That way it gives you the best chance of getting it right. And so piece 2 goes in the first slot underneath here, just like that, and you push it all the way in until it can't go any further, just like that. That was step 2 and 3. Step 4 is to get pieces 3 and 4 and put them either side on piece 2, and here they are. 3 and 4, and on they go here. Just like that. Now we go from step 4 in our instructions here over to step 5, and we need piece 5, and it goes in the next slot underneath. So we find piece 5, which is this piece up here in the top right corner, and in it goes. It slides all the way in till it can't go any further, like that. And then we need piece 6, which is in the next slot, and it is this one here. You'll notice that these pieces can go either way at the moment, but some of them, so can I go this way or this way? Some pieces, as I mentioned before, will have the laser engraving, and it'll tell you in the instructions which way to put that. Right, step 7, we need piece 7, and it goes in the next slot. This is piece 7 here. Out it comes. You'll see there's only one slot on these pieces, so there's only one way for it to go. And in it goes, just like that. Step 8, we need piece 8, and it goes in the back down here. Push it out. When you're pushing them out, don't push on the narrow sections here, push on the big part of the piece. In goes piece 8. All the way in. You see here, what we're getting here is the structure for the wing supports and the front legs and the back legs of Toothless. Step 9, we need piece 9, and it goes in the slot here. And there's piece 9. There it goes. Now you don't need to work as fast as me. If you want to work a bit slower, that's quite alright. There is no need to rush. In goes piece 9. And then step 10, we have piece 10 is the front forearm of Toothless. So it goes in here, and then piece 11 is the back leg of Toothless. So we find 10, which is right here. Oh, his tail wants to pop out, so as I said, that's okay. We can put the tail to one side and come back to that. Piece 10, and it comes. You can see piece 10 has laser engraving. Okay, so it's important the engraving goes the correct way, and that is to have the long slot goes to the long slot with the laser engraving at the back, like that. And then we have piece 11, which is up here. And same thing, the laser engraving goes outwards so it can be seen, and the long slot goes in the long slot, so just like that. Have a look now and check your model to make sure that you followed the steps correctly. If you haven't, you can always take the pieces out again and redo it. That's not a problem, because remember, we haven't glued this together. And if you are going to glue it together, I would wait to the very end and then apply little dabs of glue on the model. But we're not doing that right now. So now on to step 11, and we need pieces 12 and 13, and they go on here as Toothless's feet. So here's 12, and 12 goes on the front. Push that all the way in, and then we have 13, over here, and it goes on the back. And then step 12, we have 14 and 15 make up the rest of the legs here on the left side of Toothless. So we need 15, which is this one here, and 14 is that one there. Now you want to look at the way that these go. Toothless's feet go inwards. You can see the model, the feet point in a certain direction. You can either have it that way or this way. And that's the way that Toothless's feet go. They go, the toes point just so slightly inwards, like that. And the same with piece 15. Don't have them pointing outwards. Turn that around and have them pointing inwards. Just like that. All right, that's page 1 done already. Flipping it over, we need, so we turn the model around just as it's shown in the picture here, also known as a diagram. Turn that around, and then we need piece 16. And it's basically doing the exact same we did on the other side to the right hand side of Toothless. In goes 16. In the slot above his right shoulder. And then we have step 14, so we need pieces 17 at the back and 18 at the front. And here's piece 18. 18 goes at the front. Remember to have the laser details pointing outwards so they can be seen. And we go long slot to long slot, just like that. Slides all the way in. And now we need 17. Laser details outwards, long slot to long slot, and on it goes. And now step 15, we need piece 19 here and 20 here. So here's 19, goes at the back, just like so. You can see how well these models come together, but also how well they're designed. They look pretty amazing when they're all built, but even better when they're painted, which is what we're going to do today, of course. All right. So that was step 15. We put piece 19 here and piece 20 here. Now we need 16. So we put 21 at the back and 22 at the front. So here's 22. And our frame. And 21 at the back. Now there is a note there which says, at this point, if all 4 feet don't stand evenly on the ground, try flipping pieces 12 and 13 or pieces 19 and 20. And for us, it is standing nicely on the ground, standing out beautifully. And in the movie, Toothless's legs do come together just like that. So we're building it correctly. And we can go on to step 17. And that is to get piece 23, which is this piece here. Pushing on the big area, not the area at the back. Push there, and it comes. You'll see too that the frame may break in some areas. That's okay. We obviously don't need, oh, the wing fell out, there we go. We don't need the frame after we've built the model, so that's okay. But we don't want to break it on purpose. So we have piece 23, and following our instructions, it slides in here. And we're now starting to build the head of Toothless. Make sure you're pushing your pieces all the way in. Piece 23 should be very flat with the back of his head here. And then we have piece 24 and 25 go in the slots here on the side of his head. So 24 and 25. and these have laser etched details, so make sure the details point outwards. So this is piece 24, long slot to long slot with our laser details pointing outwards, like that, and on it goes. And then piece 25, goes in this way. So once again, stop, have a look at your model, make sure it's looking correct, just like it's got, so it looks like mine. If it does, great. If it doesn't, go back and just have a look at some of the steps you feel you may have missed. But I'm sure you guys are doing a great job. And now we're on step 19, where we need piece 26 and 27. 26 goes on the right side of him. And you have to look at the way that these pieces line up. There's a bigger tab and a smaller tab. The bigger tab goes down the bottom, like so. Should be a lot easier for you guys with your smaller fingers. And it's just about lining the slot up and then pushing it in. Like that. Now it's 26. 27 is over here. I'm using the side of my hand, my thumb to pop that out. And I find the big tab and put that down the bottom. Line the tab up and then push it in. Don't try and push it in without having the tab lined up in its hole. And if you need mum and dad's help, that's totally okay. We'd rather you ask for help from mum and dad than either get it wrong or accidentally break your model. That's the last thing you want to do. Step 20, piece 28 and 29, and these are the eyes. So here's 28. And it goes on the right hand side. And when you're putting these on, you make sure that the pointy part of the eye points down. And that way you know you've got it right. And then the other eye, which is piece 29, out it comes. Once again, making sure that's pointing down. And on it goes, like that. Step 21, we need piece 30, which is this piece here. And then we need 31 and 32. And they are, where are they? Here we go, 31. And so lining our piece up just like in the model, and 31 so it goes like that. So 31 goes in the back like so, underneath, and then we have 32 goes on the other side. So just like in the diagram, we're putting this tab into that slot there, just like that. And then that slides in here, which is step 22. Wow, very cool indeed. And his head's just about done. Step 23, we need pieces 33 and 34. 33 is here, and it goes on top on the right hand side, like so. And piece 34, this little piece here, goes on the left, making sure we have our laser engraved details upwards so we can use them with our painting later. Looks pretty cool. And then you have step 24, which is piece 35. This little piece right here. And it goes up and into this slot here. And that's the nose of Toothless. Like that, and that is his face done. Looks pretty amazing. So, step 25, need piece 36 and 37, which are our wing pieces. And here they are. So here's 36. So 36. Turn the model around. And they go into these slots here. 1, 2 here, and this is piece 36, goes on the left side of Toothless. Just put in the slots there. And then we have piece 37, same thing on the other side. This slot here and this slot here. And it goes. You don't need to force it. In. And then step 26, we need pieces 39 and 38. And you have these 2 notches here and these 2 tabs here, and the tabs go into those notches. Buenos notches. Maybe, no? And then on goes the other piece. Wow, it's looking pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. And with these two, you want to make sure you just line up the wings so there's a nice even curve here. You don't want the wing to be up at an angle or down, it's just nice and flat. Just like that. And then we have the saddle, which is piece 40, which is step 27. And that's where Hiccup sits when he flies Toothless. You guys know that, you've probably seen the movie. And it goes on the tab behind the head, and that's where he sits. And the very last piece, we have no more pieces left on our frame, is step 28, piece 41. The biggest piece of the puzzle is also the last. And I'm sure you guys know where this goes, but it slides right in the back there. And there we have our Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. Looking very cool. I mean, and if you wanted to, you could just leave it, you know, like that. I think it looks pretty amazing. But again, let's put that on there. But we are obviously going to paint him. So let's get ready to paint. Alright, so let's get stuck into it. To get painting, we obviously need our paints. I've got some clean water in a cup. I've got my palette for mixing up colours. Nice brush, which we come with our kit. And what I like to do with this is I dip it in the water and just soften the brush up a little bit before we use it. We've got our Toothless model, of course, and we've got it on the piece of cardboard that came with our model. So, as I said, we're going to be using our instructions in here, and the first thing it says to do is to mix up a very dark grey using black and just a little bit of white paint, and paint everything with this colour except the eyes, the prosthetic fin on his tail, and the saddle, which is right here. So what we can actually do is we can take the saddle off, because that'll help. I might just pop that off with my brush. Or not, okay, saddle stays on, no big deal. So we're gonna mix up our black paint. And so here it is here. And with these paints, the first time you use them, these paints, you want to give them a good mix. And an easy way to do that, believe it or not, is the end of the paintbrush, because we can clean it in our water. and give it a good stir. Don't go too hard so that it comes out of the top of the paint. Just enough to get it fully mixed up. And then I clean my brush. See? Didn't even know there was paint on there. Now the paint that comes with these kits, it may be these ones here, or it may be a different set, but just check the black. This black actually is closer to a dark grey, so I don't need to do any mixing, but the paint you use may be a real dark black, and that's the case. Get some of your black, put it in one of the sections of your palette, add just a touch of white, mix it up, and then start painting. So that's exactly what we're going to do. When you're painting, you don't want to put too much paint on. You only want to put enough just to cover it. You don't want it to be so thick that it takes a long time to dry. So only as much paint as you need to cover the timber. I'll keep painting, and then once it's done, I'll come back to you guys. Alright, so here we've got Toothless, we've got the dark grey colour all done. You notice that we haven't done the eyes, because that'll be painted white later, and we haven't done the prosthetic fin here on his tail, but everywhere else is done. So now it's time to let that dry, and once it's 100% dry, then we'll start adding in some details using a lighter colour grey and accentuating areas of his wings, his tail, his face, his arms and legs, and basically just giving him some dimension, some texture. So we'll let Toothless dry for a bit, and then we'll come back. Alright, now that Toothless is all dry, we're going to get some black, and we're going to mix just a touch of white with it. So I'm going to put some black here in my palette. And I'll clean my brush so I don't get any paint in the white. Give that white there. Here's my white paint. And it literally is just like that much. I'm just going to make a wider, lighter version of that grey, just like that. Kids, see, nice and easy. And what I may do as well is just put a bit of water with that. So I'm just going to get a bit of water, add that in there, just to thin it out, because I don't want to do it really thick. And the idea here is that we're going to use, see, nice and dry. We're going to use the lines in here, and we're just going to add a little bit of detail. And I'll show you what I mean. So it's kind of like, I got some paint on my brush, and I'm just going to do a line of it, following the laser cut lines there. And then once I've got it on there, I'll do a couple more. And then I'll probably get a bit of water, and I'm just going to blend that in. You see I haven't put any more paint on my brush, I'm just using the paint that I've got in there, maybe a little bit more now. Just like that. And then I'll do the same on the other side, and then I'm going to wash my brush. And I'll do a bit of detail in here as well, on the front of the wings. Alright, so there's some detail around the wings. I'm going to do the same here on his head. A little bit of different colour to it. And I'm going to wash my brush, bit of water, and then I'm just going to blend that in like that. You don't leave that too long because you don't want that extra bit of paint you put on there to dry too fast, and then you won't be able to blend it in as well. I might do a little bit more on this edge up here. I'm just going to do it to all the edges of my model. I'm going to use this mixed up sort of grey colour, and all down through here as well on his tail, just adding some streaks through there. The idea is not to colour everything in and then you won't see the original colour underneath, the dark grey, but it's just to do some accentuating, some highlighting with it. Tail. Here on his shoulders. And we're going to do it on his cheeks and arms. Under here as well. Up under here. Alright, time to get the brush wet and blend a bit of that in. A bit more water. Looking pretty good. You can see all the texture that's given it now as well. Alright, now we're going to paint the eyes white. So really clean the brush. I want that to be perfectly clean, just like that. Wipe off all the extra. And open my white. Dip it in there, and I'm going to really take my time. I'm going to put this on pretty thick because there's a bit of other colours on there already, and this is going to be a base for the details of the eye. So the whole eye won't end up being white like this, but this is just how we're going to start it off. So like that. That's how she should look. Sorry, that's how he should look. Alright, now we're going to do the leather saddle seat. This is going to be brown. So So I'll find my brown. It's a dark brown, and the claws are also dark brown on Toothless, so we can do that too now. So here's our saddle. Paints it all the way open. And this is in the movie, the saddle is made of leather, which is why we're painting it brown. It's like the hide of a cow used to be, because that's what leather is, isn't it? There's that, and then also we'll do his claws. Put the model down if you want, and reach under and do it. Down here. Taking our time, very delicate. Alright, now we're going to do the prosthetic fin here, and that is also a brown, but we're going to use a different brown. We're going to use the lighter brown for that. And we're not going to paint the skull. So being very, very careful. I'm going to rest my hand on the table. If you remember from the movie, Hiccup uses some cables or some ropes to control this movable fin, and that's how he steers his dragon. So we need to think about how we're going to do that too. There's his tail, that's all done. Now we're going to add a bit of this same brown to the saddle as well. So we're basically mixing browns here. We have the dark brown, and then we're going to put the lighter brown, the tan brown on top, and it's going to create a different colour to the tail, but it's going to definitely look like a saddle. Alright, so here's how Toothless is looking. He's looking pretty good. We've got all the detail there on his back, the seat, and now we're going to start on his eyes, and for this we're going to use some green and a texture and do green around the side. And then we're going to do yellow and finish it off with black in the middle. So yellow first, just around the center of the eye. And once the black goes in, it'll all come together with the black. So you watch that. So the black. And there we have it. Toothless is finished. Thanks for watching, kids. I hope you enjoyed this latest tutorial here with us at Charlie Boots. If you have any questions, of course, just flick them through to us, info@charlieboots.com.au. But until next time, keep on creating and keep on having fun. See you guys.